Hi everyone, I am filming this after I have edited what you are about to watch, and this is my public service announcement today. What you're about to watch is a big old hot mess. You will tell no planning went into the making of this video, but it was this or nothing and I didn't have time to film again, so I hope it's not too terrible and I hope you will be able to stick with it. Enjoy. Bye. Well, you can see me again in a minute. Sorry. Oh, and it's my 50th video. You'd think after 50 times it would be better. But it's not. Happy 50th to me. Thanks for watching. Hi Flosstube. I'm Rachel, stitch.rach here on Flosstube and on Instagram. It is Friday the 10th? Friday the 10th of November. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk about cross stitch and forget dates, apparently. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Big welcome if it is your first time here. And thank you very much if you're coming back and if you're a subscriber. I haven't filmed for about 3 weeks, but it feels like a lot has happened in that time. Mainly that I attended Stitch in London, more of which later. Also, we've had half term, everyone's back at school, we've had parents' evenings, and yeah, it's been busy all time again. And then from tomorrow I'm going on jury duty. Not tomorrow, Monday. I'm going on jury duty for 2 weeks, and a rather hectic weekend between now and then. So I thought if I don't film this afternoon, it's going to be at least another 2 weeks, because I can't see, whilst I'm on jury duty, that I'm gonna have time. So there we go. So yeah, that's my potted life situation. I'm going to cough now, excuse me. So as I say, since I last saw you, I've attended Stitch in London. I have got some finishes. I've got some FFOs. Yeah, I've got some FFOs. I've got some whips. I've got some knitting. I've got 2 bags of stuff from the retreat that I haven't unpacked. Although I'm just looking at one of them now. Maybe it's not a bag of stuff from the retreat. Anyway, we can go through them together and have a look what's in there. And yeah. So hopefully you can pull up a chair and a drink and have a sit down and kind of just enjoy the next maybe hour with me while I ramble through this big pile of stuff that I have sat next to me. Right. I don't know how to approach today because lots of people have done Stitch in London recap videos, and obviously as usual I'm a bit late to the party, so some of the things I'm going to talk about and tell you, you probably already know. So I might kind of do a normal Flosstube and then leave the retreat stuff to the end if people aren't too bothered about that. Although I will need to say some things about the retreat as we go along, so there might be a bit of retreat chat interspersed amongst the beginning bit, but yeah, we'll see. Should we just go with it? Should we just go with it? I had a really good time at retreat though, so first of all thank you to Marie from Stitches and Diamonds who organised the retreat. And if you do have the opportunity to go on a retreat, whether it be Stitch in London or any of the other retreats that are now popping up all around the country for all different types of things, I do hope you'll take the opportunity, because I've been to 2 retreats now and I had a really wonderful time at both. Catching up with people I met before, meeting people I met online, meeting new people. I've just had a fab time. I have some FFOs, but actually I have 2 knitting FFOs and a stitching FFO. I think, and that's the only knitting I've got to show, so I think I'm going to show it now. But I think actually first I will insert now the video that I made last time I filmed of the piece I had made for the Smalls Exchange at Stitch in London. So I will pop that video in here now. Hey Flosstube, I am back to show you my exchange piece for the Stitch in London retreat that I am going to this Friday. Obviously this retreat will be long over by the time you see this, but currently it is in the future for me. So I have stitched and FFO'd all by myself, and it doesn't look rubbish. Do you want to see it? It is a Biscornu. You see that? So it's got this kind of tomatoey pattern and like a samplery top, and then on the underside it's just got these little tomatoes. It's only 3 colours, and then I've made this pin following the tutorial from Mama Loves You GB. I don't think it's going to focus on that. There you go, it's like a cotton reel pin. And then I bought this tomato pin from, it's a Jabco one, just another button company. But there you go. This is a pattern from the Nebby needle. It's called Quirky Tomato. And I've stitched it in the called for colours, which are Weeks Dye Works Monkey Grass, Classic Colourworks Chili Pepper, and Weeks Dye Works Oil Cloth. And then the fabric is 36 count Platinum by Zweigart, just one of their standard colours. And then I put a little red button in the middle. It's one of those that's like got a star on, but I thought it almost looked like the inside of a tomato, and the same on the underside. But I've never made a Biscornu before, and as you know, I am not someone that FFOs very regularly, so I am super proud of my little efforts there, and I hope if you receive this on Friday you will love it as much as I do. I think I may very well stitch another one for me, because I love it so much. I'm very, very proud of it. It was actually quite a quick stitch, so I would recommend it. And you all know I'm not a great finisher, and if I can do that, and honestly, I think it looks alright. I really don't think that looks a mess, and I'm blowing my own trumpet a bit. I mean, not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So, hope you liked seeing that. I hope whoever you are that has received that has enjoyed receiving it. Maybe I'll even have a photo of whoever got it by the time I get to put this on my Flosstube channel. Right, back to the main video. So I hope you liked seeing that. I was super impressed with myself making that. Yeah, I surpassed my own expectations of myself. Before I did it, I messaged my friend Crafting Kirsty, and I said, oh, good news. This was about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks before the retreat, maybe 2 weeks. And I said, good news, I have finished the stitching. So I've only got the finishing left to do, which is good, because we all know that's the bit I excel at. And she was like, and she was laughing. And so we were chatting on Messenger, and she's like, and she wasn't taking part in the smalls exchange. She decided she wasn't going to. So she was like, oh, what did you decide on doing? I'm like, a Biscornu. She just went, oh, FFS. And I was like, yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time. But actually, I hope you will agree that it didn't turn out too badly. Now, I am rubbish at taking photos. I don't think I took a single photo or retreat. But my exchange was picked up by a lovely lady called Annette, who seemed to like it. She didn't seem too disappointed with my finishing attempt. So I hope you do like it, Annette, and I have no idea if she watches or anything. But if you do, Annette, I really hope you are enjoying it. And in addition to the Biscornu, I had included some red scissors and a skein of, I think it was Classic Colourworks, but it might have been gassed, called Tomato or Cherry Tomato. And I'd made some counting pins, some real ones and just some beaded ones, and then I'd got a little Jabco tomato pin as well. So anyway, that's what I gave. I really hope it's loved, because I enjoyed making it, and I think I'm going to make another one for me. I really enjoyed stitching it, and I'm just super impressed with myself at actually finishing a Biscornu, and now I want to stitch all the Biscornus, because I'm like, I can finish a Biscornu. So yeah, as I say, just generally hugely impressed with myself. Sorry, someone's pinging me on my phone. Right. I'm really sorry about the lighting. When I collected all the stuff together to film, it was actually quite bright sunshine, but the weather has been so changeable. It was pouring down earlier, and then I managed to walk the dog in a kind of dryish spot, and the sun came out towards the end of the walk, and I was like, right, I knew I had to film this today if I had any chance of it being done in the next 2 weeks. And I was like, wow, the light's great. And now it has gone like super, super dark. There's a massive cloud. The light's on. So yeah, it's, so the lighting has suddenly become very dodgy. Oh, and if you think the hair's a funny colour, I did have my hair coloured yesterday. It'd been blow dried really nicely, and I was kind of with a bit of a curl in it, and I was kind of hoping the blow dry would last for the second day, but it didn't. It looked very nice yesterday. Someone even commented how nice it was when I took my daughter to dance class. But yeah, it's just, you can enjoy the colour, and it's not the dodgy lighting, it is a colour. Right. So that was my first FFO. And then I did an FFO class at retreat that I'll talk about later. So that was like a second one, but I'll show you that when we talk about retreat stuff. And then I suddenly got on this like, I can FFO stuff kick. And I came home and I was like, right, that knitted pumpkin that has been sitting in the knitted bag for like two years, I'm going to FFO that. So I did. And this was the result. Let's get that. Oh, someone's ringing me now. Bear with me. Sorry about that. Just a quick phone call there. The good news is it started to brighten up a bit, so hopefully the lighting isn't as crazy. So I was starting to show you this, which is my finished, there we go, knitted pumpkin. Now I knitted this about 2 years ago, and literally all I needed to do was finish it. Not finish it, obviously I needed to finish it. Stuff it, give it the pumpkin shaping it has, and do the stalk, and I've added those little tendrily bits. So literally all I did was stuff it, and then to give it the pumpkin shape you kind of take the wool you knitted it with and push it through the middle and pull it to give, you know, like the bumps. And then this was literally a pack of craft sticks I bought, like natural craft sticks from Baker Ross. They're great for kind of natural craft materials. I'll link them below. And I just cut that with some garden secateurs and hot glued it in the middle. And the tendrily things are, can you see those? They are florist twine. Florist twine. 2 years it's taken me to do that. It actually took me about half an hour to finish it. And then my other knitting FFO is my Crest wave cowl that you saw me knitting last time, and it is now finished, and I am very, very pleased with it. I did have to do some unpicking a few times when I got my loaf pattern wrong. And then the only other thing is that I definitely used the wrong cast off So I clearly should have used a stretchy cast off. And I think when you're doing rib, should you cast off in a rib? Someone who's, you know, a proper knitter tell me, but I just did like a straight, like normal knitted cast off, and I think it looks so. I'm going to show you. If I put this behind it, if it'll show you. And I think it looks a bit weird, but I'm not undoing it, and I knit something, and I think like I can almost say I'm a knitter now. I knit this, it was it's called Crest of a Wave, the pattern, and I think it was by Twinset and Pearl. That sounds familiar. I've obviously bought none of the information. I will link it all below. It's available on Ravelry, and I knitted it with some sock yarn from the Skein and the Stitch. It was one of their yarn of the month colours from last year. But I'm really happy with that, and that will definitely get some wear this winter. I haven't blocked it yet. Whether it'll ever get blocked, I don't know. So they're all my FFOs, apart from the thing I did at the retreat class that I'll show you in a minute. So can we say really that I can't and don't FFO things? I don't know. I feel like I now risk becoming a fraud and losing my crown. Will the real Rachel please stand up? Will the real Rachel please stand up? I don't think I have a lot of confidence finishing, although maybe I'm getting a little bit more. I think being scared of the sewing machine definitely doesn't help me, and every time I go to the machine, I'm scared of my sewing machine, and everyone just goes, you just need to put your big girl pants on, and I do. But it's finding the time and the inclination, because you know, that time and inclination to sit down and be a big girl is time I could be stitching. So there's that. So there's the confidence, the unfriendliness with my sewing machine, the fact that, you know, finishing time means no stitching time, but then you do get something finished. Maybe I need to make more of an effort. Maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution. There we go. And then I've got a couple of finishes to show you. So one of them I finished at the retreat, and another one I stitched on at the retreat but then finished shortly afterwards. So first one I finished at the retreat is, and I was stitching on this I think last time I filmed, is Seasons of the Heart Spring by the Blue Flower, and I got this when it was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and it is finally finished. But oh my god, I had such a time with this piece. I don't think I've ever stitched on something that I've had to rip out so many times. So obviously I had the initial big mess up where I'd stitched kind of most of this quarter and most of it was wrong, and it all had to come out because obviously the heart has to be symmetrical. The heart has to be in the right place basically, otherwise none of it works. And then I think every motif I had to pull bits out at some point or another, but it is now finished. These charts are available to buy now, the whole 4 seasons, and I stitched it on Chromatic Alchemy 32 count Belfast in the colour Raven's Core with all the called for DMC. But I did get lots of lovely comments at the retreat, and I was so close to finishing it. I was determined to finishing it, and I sat next to Crafting Kirsty, and she was working on her fancy blanket, and we were both really close, and I was like, I'll race you, and she's like, I'm not racing. I was like, I'll race you, and I lost. I'm not at all competitive, didn't matter. I was not in any way like super speedy, and then I had to rip something out again, something to do with this blooming rabbit down here I'd got wrong, the whole thing. Anyway, I lost, but I did get it finished, and I was trying to play bingo and stitch at the same time, and then managed to get, can you see down there, some biro. That's blue biro, because I was stitching whilst trying to play bingo. So yeah, anyway, I have enough fabric here to do all 4. I was talking to Sally, Flossie Sews and Grows, who I met at the retreat, and she was saying she's done 3 of these and just has the 4th to do, but she said she had, I think you said your first one, didn't you, Sally, that you'd had a lot of problems with as well, but now the 2nd and 3rd had gone much better and she only had the 4th to do. And I think we both agreed that the trick with these is to make sure at every stage the heart is in the right place. So there's no point in trying to just stitch the heart to start with, because it's so easy to miscount, and so you kind of have to do a little bit of the heart and then put all the motifs around it and like really carefully count and make sure that the gaps between the motifs and the heart are exactly right before you carry on. And Sew Me Sarah has these charts as well, and next year Sally and Sarah are doing 50 new starts for 50, and I think I may have persuaded Sew Me Sarah to make one of these hers. Sew Me Sarah was on my table at retreat as well. She was a really nice lady, really fun to meet her. So yeah, so that's my first finish. I wouldn't say hold your breath for an FFO though. To be honest, I think I will probably not FFO any of these. Look at me talking about FFOs like they're going to happen. I'm not going to FFO any of these till I've stitched them all, so you know. You can carry on waiting for as long as you like. Having said that, in the project bag, I have printed out the next one, which is the summer one. And I have pulled the relevant DNCs from my stash. So, you know, you never know. You never know. It may happen. It may happen. And actually, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to show you what I've been out and about stitching on in a bit, but it's not actually working great for me at the moment because obviously out and about stitching is often in the car and it's a lot darker now. It's getting dark at what? 4:30ish, 4:45. And just the fabric I'm working on in the car light, it's not really good enough light for what I'm doing. And then I'm looking at the whips I have left. A lot of them are massive. Will shock you to know I've got a lot of massive whips. And I'm going, actually, there isn't a lot here that can do out and about stitching. So it may well be that I do start that just for out and about stitching. But we'll see. We'll see. And then the second finish I've had is Wash Your Hands. It's not actually called Wash Your Hands, it's called Arranging Microbes. And it's by Ink Circles. But I finished that quite soon after I got back from retreat. I'd nearly finished it at retreat. I think when I got back from retreat, all I had to do was these two, I don't know, microbes there on the bottom line next to hands and the word hands. I think that was basically what I had left to do. So I finished it pretty speedily on my return from retreat. This is on 40 count white linen by Zweigart with all the called for weeks dye works. I really love it, and as you can see, it's even been ironed, and that was because yesterday I had to nip into the local village where my framer is. I wasn't intending to go to the framer yesterday. Well, it hadn't been in the day's plan, and then I realised I needed to... Oh, my phone's going again. Sorry, this is like the phone call episode. Sorry about that. That was Mum from school asking if I could... she's just running a bit late, and if I could grab her some when I got my children. But my husband's doing pick up, but he's going to get... Anyway, doesn't matter. Sorry. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I nipped into the local village because I had to fill up the car, and then I think, you know, I'm on our parish council and it's Remembrance Sunday this weekend. So I decided I needed to go and collect the poppy wreath we get from the Royal British Legion that we go and lay at our village war memorial at the Remembrance service. So I went to do all that, and I thought, oh, well, I'll nip to the framers while I'm there because there's a framers in our local village. Anyway, this always happens to me. Whenever I'm like, I'll just nip to the framers today, they're never open. I don't know what it is. It's always like the first strike, I never make it. So I think last time I took some stuff, he was on holiday, and there was a notice in the window saying I'm on holiday this week. And yesterday I drove past, because I went to get fuel first, and I drove past, and I was like, I don't think he's open. Well, it's absolutely typical. I think it's happened to me 3 times in a row now, and so I went back after I'd got the wreath and the fuel and just had a look, and the sign in the window said, oh, due to unforeseen circumstances, we're going to be closed on the 9th of November. And I thought, that is just... So I hope nothing bad has happened, but I think that is just my luck, that is. So it was all ironed to go to the framers, and now I don't know when I'll get to the framers because as I say, I'm on jury duty the next 2 weeks. But yeah, I absolutely love this, and the kids love it as well, and it's nice and bright and fun, so all good. I'm going to move that teacup because I don't want the linen to get stained. I'll pop it up here so you can admire it as we go. There we are. Oh, you can't see it. Shall we move the camera a little bit? There we go. Sorry about the wobble. That's better, and you can see the pumpkin and the stitching. Right. And then whips. I only have 2 whips to show you. So after I put that away on the Sunday morning at the retreat, because I was like, I'm not going to finish this and I want to change, I said to the ladies on my table, and actually the 2 whips I'm going to show you were the 2 options. I was like, do I do this or do I do this? And they were all like, do that. And that is the Village of Hawkrun Hollow. which I absolutely love. It's been a whip for about 5 years and I'm still only on the second square. In the blurb on the chart it says, it's hilarious, I read it to the ladies at the retreat because I just couldn't get over it. I might have read this to you before, so apologies if I have, but I just find it so unbelievable. So here's the chart and it says, special thanks to Carol Sims who stitched this sampler for me. She did it in 49 days. Carol, you are without doubt amazing. You are, Carol, you are amazing. I assume you did not eat, sleep, go to the bathroom during those 49 days. I think the rate I'm going, mine's going to take me 49 years, never mind 49 blooming days. So, you know, you have my wholehearted respect, Carol, you really do. Anyway, so I'm on square 2. I'll just move that needle minder. And this is where I am. There is a lot of stitching in some of these blocks. Some of them not so much, and then others just a lot. So like the first one, not too bad. This one down here, not a lot. This one, from about halfway, that is full coverage in there. So it has taken me a while. I did that, I did a half a willow tree. I was like losing the will to live on those little leaves. And then I've come down, I've been building this picket fence this week, which again has been a bit of a slog, although I'm nearly done now. What amused me about it was I decided, because I looked at it, you know how you look at things like that and you think, how am I going to do this in a logical way that means I'm not like just stretching loads. So I decided the best way to do it was to do the zigzag across the top, then do these 2 straight lines, and then build all the uprights. Which amused me because that is entirely the opposite way to how you build a fence in real life. I also think I could have actually built a real life fence quicker than this picket fence. But we're getting there. We are getting there. So that is Village of Hawkrun Hollow by Carriage House Samplings, and it's stitched on 32 Camp Belfast in the colour June by Chromatic Alchemy. And I do love it. I'm really enjoying stitching on it. I will be happy when this fence is done. I loved doing the stained glass windows. I was kind of trying to put them off to the end, and then I just got to a point where I was like, no, I need to do something that I'm finding enjoyable. I really liked doing those stained glass windows. I think they look amazing. So yes. So my plan is to carry on stitching until I finish that square. I'd really like to have that square finished by the end of the year, given that it's already been 5 years. Oh, I've dropped the back. I'm making it on this now. Given that it's been 5 years and I only have 1 square complete. So I would really like to finish that square. And then my plan after that is for my evening stitching to be cardinal points and have a real big, even the thought of it is off-putting, but just have a real big push on cardinal points and see if I can get that finished this year as well. I just can't have that hanging over me any longer. If you don't know my whole torrid history with cardinal points, I'm not going over it again now. You will hear about it in the coming weeks, no doubt, if I stick to the plan. That is in a House of Stitch and Stash project bag. And then my other whip, which is the one I am struggling with a little bit, just out and about stitching, not struggling with it in an enjoyment sense. It's a really, really fun stitch still. Is, let me find the cover sheet, Pendle Hill by Samplers and Stitches. So it's got really dark again. So I haven't stitched loads on this, mainly because I found I had made a bit of an error on the plant coming out of the pot. So I had to frog some of it. And as I say, because of the fabric, in kind of gloomy car light in the dark, it's not actually terribly easy to see what you are doing. There's a thread that needs clipping there. So this is where I am. So I'm kind of continuing to build that plant, but I'm just thinking this fabric is just not great for stitching in a kind of gloomy car, so this may have to go away for a bit, and I'll find something with a brighter fabric to work on. but I am doing this in everything called for because I just loved the original so much. So it's Weeks Dye Works grey, 36 count Weeks Dye Works grey, and the threads are a mix of all kinds of things actually. There's some Weeks Dye Works, there's some Guest and some DMC. There you go, some my rather tangled little stuff, and I've got a little bit of like floss, bit of ring bling as Mum Loves You GB calls it, that I made myself I think from a birthday card. Sorry about the light shining on there, but it's like a gloomy tower, which yeah, I thought it was appropriate. It looks like it's on a moor, and if you know kind of the Lancashire countryside, well, it's not moorland up in Pendle, it's kind of, it's not far off. It's not far off. So yes, I'm doing that. My other plan is that I might take this next week. I mean, obviously on jury duty I could end up being in a courtroom all day, but I could also end up sitting around a lot. Let me clip that. So my plan is to take this with me, and hopefully I can get a bit of stitching done if I have some downtime. So I might do that. I think I'm alright to take stitching in. Sorry, I'm just clipping these loose threads on the back. I think I'm alright to take stitching in, although I'm not going to take my good scissors in case they confiscate them. So I might take some, I've got some little, tiny little snips that I don't think can possibly be classed as a lethal weapon, but even if they do take those, I'm going to take some nail clippers. In a pinch, some nail clippers will do the job. So hopefully I can get something done on that. So that's that. Right, oh, and this is in my Penelope's pocket project bag, a nice pumpkin-y one. Right, and then I've got one bit of haul that is not from Retreat, and then we're into Retreat stuff. So it's a Penelope's pocket project bag. It's this really cool Halloween-y one. Sarah reduced these in price on her website, and she still has some left at the reduced price. So if you're interested in snapping up a nice reduced price Halloween project bag, head over to Penelope's Pocket. Right, so that's all kind of the non-retreat stuff. So if you don't want yet another Stitch in London recap, I will see you in a few weeks. It won't be 2 because I'll still be on jury duty, so maybe 3, hopefully. Well, hopefully before December. But I make no promises at the moment. Life is a bit hectic. But I will say goodbye now if you're not interested in retreat stuff. So if you are staying with me, I had the best time at retreat. I had the best table. I make no apologies for saying that. I'm sure that all the tables were really good. But we had lots of fun on table 9. Woo! Table 9. So I was sat next to my friend Crafting Kirsty, who I had met in real life before at the Essex Needles retreat, and I also met her friend Chris, who was sat with us, and then there was the lovely Jane, and then Noreen and Sarah of Sew Me Sarah, who had come together from Northern Ireland. Then Whitney from America. I think everyone loved Whitney. I think she met everyone. I don't think I've watched a Stitch in London recap that didn't talk about Whitney. And then on my other side was Edna. So I made a very happy table 9. Had such good laughs all weekend. All the ladies were really generous, or a lot of them very generous, and had given table gifts, and I felt really terrible because I hadn't. So note to self for next time, get yourself more organised for some table gifts at retreat. Yeah, sorry ladies, I will do better next time. But yeah, we've got a little Instagram chat group with all the ladies on the table, and it's just been really, really good fun. We just had an absolute blast. Such nice ladies, such a good laugh. I was very grateful because obviously I was late Kate as always, and Kirsty had saved me a seat at the table, so I was really lucky because if I'd just turned up, that table would have been full. Mainly, I think, because it was by the window, so it had better lighting than some of the other tables. But I met so many people that I had never met before, or never interacted with before, or had interacted with, or had watched Flosstube. So it was just amazing to meet all these people, and like, as I say, and I sat down at the table and introduced myself, and everyone introduced themselves to me, and I have to confess, and I did confess to her, so this won't be a surprise, that I'd heard of Sew Me Sarah, but I'd never watched her. I didn't know it. So she introduced herself as Sarah. And our name badges did have, like, you know, your Instagram and your Flosstube, but she was opposite me and it was quite small. So I didn't actually read that bit. So she just said she was Sarah. And it only transpired later to me that she was Sew Me Sarah, who, you know, big YouTube Flosstuber. And so I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I've never watched you. But I have now, Sarah. I have watched you now. So yeah, so it was just quite interesting to just be like, oh, I'm so sorry, you're really big, and I didn't know you were really big, and I haven't watched you. But she's just such a lovely lady, and her friend Noreen, and we just had great laughs. Particularly as I think we were the last ones at the stitching table on Saturday night or Friday night. Anyway, one night we were the last one. We had a really good laugh. So it was lovely to meet you ladies. Really good fun. Right, I've got these 2 bags here, and I think most of them have retreat stuff in them. Although I'm now slightly dubious about this one because it's just got a massive bag of polyfill in the top, which I used to fill the Biscornu I made. I'm going to take that out because it's just literally just a bag of polyfill. Oh no, it's not, you know. It's not anything to do with treat stuff. It's a load of odds and sods of wool. That's like the orange pumpkin wool, and then over half term I made some pom-pom spiders. You can see them on my Instagram feed if you're interested, with the kids as kind of craft activity. So that's not anything to do with the retreat, that's just a bag of wool. This bag is the retreat bag. I told you I hadn't looked in anything. This bit could be a bit... it was also lovely to meet Whitney, who'd come all the way from the States and managed to get someone else to look after her children. While she came to the UK for a cross-stitch retreat, and her husband went and did loads of like museums while she was stitching, just in exactly the kind of museums my husband would have done if I'd been stitching all day. So what have we got in here? Once again, thank you to Marie of Stitches and Diamonds for organising it all. It was a wonderful retreat. I had a wonderful time. Would thoroughly recommend. Right, so I think I shopped most of the stuff. We got loads of freebies as part of the retreat package, so I'm sure you've seen some of these quite a few times. So we got an exclusive modern folk embroidery pattern, which is called 10 Merry Sailors and Their Loyal Dog. Whitney on our table renamed it as 10 Loyal Sailors, One Without a Head, the Giraffe Dog and the Sea Monster, I think is what she called it, because that is a very weird shaped dog. If you watch Crafting Kirsty, you know she has wonky donkeys. I think this is a dodgy doggy. Equally this, we thought that looked more like a Loch Ness Monster, as in these were bits of sea coming down. So yeah, so we got that. I haven't started mine, I think Whitney's finished hers. Then we got this lovely pincushion by Chloe, a girl with the gavel stitches. This is the original, and this is her reproduction. I think Sarah and Sally are going to do this as their New Year's New Day. New Year's New Start as part of their 50 for 50 next year. And I might join them in that. I'll see. I'm kind of a bit... Having not really started anything all year, I have now suddenly got a bit of startitis. And I'm wondering if when Sally and Sarah start something I already own the chart for, if I should start it. I'll think on that. I'm not going to buy a chart, but if they happen to be starting something I already own, I think that's a good excuse to get it started. What else have I got in here? So we got some fabric and floss for the 10 Merry Sailors. So you got to pick the count you wanted before you went. So I said 36 count. So I've got some 36 count vintage country mocha. And then we got the threads to stitch in, which are Roxy Flossco, which I have never used. The Great Lakes. So that's the pattern. That is showing a lot greener than it is in real life. It's not that colour, it is blue in real life. I have no idea why that's showing green, but as I said, the lighting's a bit doolally. We also got a Roxy Flossco sample. That's bluer as well. That's kind of picking up the colour of my jumper. which it is not. We got a Stitch in London needle minder by Cotton and Clay. They were selling things at the retreat. And then we got an FFO like embellishment pack. I opened because it all came in this like zip-up project, right? And I took this out and I said to Kirsty, I'm like, shall I just get it over with and put that on the freebie table right now? It's not something I'm likely to use, but hey, you never know with my new penchant for finishing things. It might. So there's some buttons in here, some mini cotton reels, some trim, some charms, there's a stitch marker. So yeah, got that. What's that? Oh, we got a floss drop from everyone who got a hand-painted floss drop from Charlie Feathers. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? So she hand-painted all of those, one for everyone that was there. So that's from Charlie Feathers. I'll link her Instagram shop below. I think that was all the stuff in the pack. Oh, and then we got a thank you Stitch in London card. And I think this is one of those seed papers that if you plant it, it's got seeds in and it'll grow into a plant, I think. And then the other things in here are things people came round and gave to the table. So Yasmin Made with Love, she was there and she was selling, and she also gave some freebies to everyone. So 2 of her gnomes, a Christmas gnome and a Halloween gnome. And then on the back of this card, there's another little chart. Luda had made scissor fobs for everyone. Look at that. That's mine. She gave us that. I'll talk about those 2 things later. What else is in here? Let's see. I've got this whole bag of stuff. Oh, here's some of the things my lovely table mates gave me. Let's talk about these next. So this first package, and this blue, is from Whitney, who's the lady from the US. And she had kind of designed for us all. Let's see. Well, she had charted for us all. Let's see if you can see a picture of it. I don't think I have a picture of it. Basically, the word Stitch in London. Oh, that's it there. Hold on. So she had stitched this as her exchange for the Smalls exchange. And she shared with everyone on her table the charting for this Stitch in London bit. And then she'd given us some thread, some finishing trim, some Ada, and a little frame and some sticky board, so that we can have like a finish to remind us of Stitch in London. I know Sarah has done hers already, putting us all to shame. I have obviously not started mine, but I will, and I think it was a really, really lovely idea of Whitney to do that, and I am going to do that so that I can remember Stitch in London. And she gave us all a little card to explain the idea, but the card's actually blank, and she printed something off, and she said what did she say? I'm sure she said somewhere that you can reuse this card. I even kept the card blank so you can use it again and make someone's day, which is really sweet. And when I do it, I will stick her little note on the back of the frame so that I will always remember anyway. But we had such a good laugh, me and Whitney, and she's in a very similar stage of life to me. She has very similar age children to me, and yeah, our lives do not sound dissimilar. Then I got this lovely bag, and this was from Sew Me Sarah, who had made everyone one of these pouches that can be like just a little project pouch or an Ort jar. It's got a lovely little heart charm, can you see that? On the zip. And it folds out completely flat. And inside she's given us, see, and I'm really good. I haven't literally I haven't taken anything out of the retreat bag, because I was like, I can't take anything out of the retreat bag till I film a Flosstube. I need to speed up a bit because I actually have to take my children to a piano lesson in a bit. But we got a truffle, we got a tea bag, we got a skein of DMC, and we got, now Sarah correct me, are these called wonder clips? I am not a quilter or a sewer. I can't even show them. I don't even know how to show them, as you all know. But some of these little, like, I can't even show it properly. Some of these, they're snappy clips. I think they're called wonder clips, but someone who actually knows something about sewing, correct me. So that was really lovely from Sarah. It must have taken you ages. Hiya. You may have noticed the costume change. It's now Saturday. Yesterday, as well as being a massive hot mess, I had some technology issues, and so some of what I've recorded didn't save. So and then I didn't have time to re-record it because I had to take my children to a piano lesson, and then I wasn't going to do it when I got back. So I'm here to kind of finish off my Stitch in London recap that I didn't get to yesterday. Well, I did get to it, it didn't save. Yeah. And I do apologise for what you've watched so far, again. Okay, so I've just shown you the lovely sewing pouch. I don't know where it's gone now because it's a bit of a mess in here. That Sew Me Sarah had given to all of us, which was just amazing, It must have taken you ages, Sarah. So I'll carry on going through the little table gifts we were given. So got this lovely little Hessian bag. Oh, and the lighting's better today, isn't it? A lovely Hessian bag from... No, it's not going to focus. Come on, focus. There we go. This is from Noreen, and she'd stitched the front of those, and it's got a little 2023 charm on it. And in here, she'd given us all a really beautiful little needle minder. Is that going to focus? It's a little, like, there you go, almost like stained glass heart. It's really beautiful. So thank you for that, Noreen. Really lovely. Look, I might put that on my, oh mind you, I tend to stitch that in hand. I was just going to say I might put that on my Seasons of the Heart piece for the other ones, but actually I often stitch that in hand. So I'll think of something really lovely to put that on. And then also she gave us 2 little wooden buttons for finishing things. So that was really nice. That there, next to my pumpkin. Then Edna, who was sat next to me and stitching this really beautiful purple sampler by Extrude Design, who I didn't really know did much designing. I obviously knew she dyed fabric, but it was really, really beautiful. Anyway, she gave us all some floss drops. There you go, these have got Queen Victoria and Prince Albert on them. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. So thank you, Edna. And then there was a lady who's not on my table called Hazel. I think Hazel must have spoken to every single person in the room. And she just kept bringing more things. She'd made so much stuff. It was also her wedding anniversary. She was there on her 50th wedding anniversary. I don't think my husband would be quite so understanding. Anyway. So we all got a bookmark. These are all different. She makes them out of Christmas cards. That one's the one I picked. And then she gave everyone a little roll of kind of finishing fabrics. Can I get these to focus? Focusing does not seem to want to happen. There we go. I'm sorry, it's going to be noisy today because it's Saturday, so the kids are home now. I've got one child singing Taylor Swift at the top of their voice, and then below me is the dining room, and our piano is in the dining room, and I don't know if you can hear one of my children practicing their piano as well, so there you go. To music. And then I think this is the last kind of gift. This is another lady not on my table, but it's Claire, the opal stitcher, and she gave everyone one of these little bags. See if I can find some white paper behind. I'm just finding other stuff now that I showed yesterday, but you haven't seen because it didn't save. So I'm just looking at it all. There you go. She gave us all one of these. Is it going to focus? There you go, and it's got a little like floss ring bling thing, and some stitch markers. Thank you very much, Claire. Really generous, really generous. I will do better next time. Right, and then I have some bits and bobs from the activities that we did, and then, oh, there's chocolate in this bag, and then I have some haul. So I've said quite a few times that I took one of the finishing classes, or I've alluded to, I took a finishing class. There were 3 finishing classes at retreat. There was one by Mum Loves You GB, one by Yaz Made with Love, and one by Roz Clark Craft. And I did the one by Roz, and it was to finish a notebook. And she had provided a stitch, so all the designers provided a stitched freebie that you could use to take part in their class. But Roz's, I decided, she said you can just do it with just some fabric if you want to, and I decided I was going to do that because it was the first time I'd done something and done it, and I didn't want to mess up a piece of stitching, basically. But it was to make, like from scratch, a notebook. And here is mine. That's the front, that is the back, and then there is pages. And basically we did all of that. I'm really proud of myself. It was quite challenging. I've wanted to try bookbinding for ages, and it was really enjoyable, but it was quite challenging, specifically, as this is my middle, you basically have to stitch the paper in, and that's the spine, and can you see, can I get it to focus on that thin edge? Where's the, that's too busy I think, hold on, can I get it to focus? I don't know if that's gonna, there you go, can you see the kind of cross stitches? So there's a piece of Ada in here with cross stitches. Oh, and we had such a laugh on that class. Whitney from my table did it, and we sat next to each other. And then there was also Justine and her friends who I had met on Friday night. So Justine, it's Justine Stitching on Instagram. Justine Stitching? Justine Stitches, let me check. And poor Justine, she has been torturing herself with these Flosstube offerings from me for a long time, and she always comments, and it was really lovely to meet her. Justine Stitching. Anyway, and so I had bumped into her on Friday night, so I was being really sensible on Friday night, because the last retreat I went to, the Essex Needles retreat, I ended up staying up really late, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that again. And so I'd left, the stitching shut at 11 anyway, but it was before 11, it might have been like 20 to 11, and I thought, right, I'm really sensible, I'm going to go to bed. So I was on my way to bed, and I thought, I'll stop, I've got a book upstairs, I'm going to get a glass of wine at the bar, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to ring my husband and read my book with this glass of wine. Anyway, so I stop at the bar, and there are these 3 ladies who were from the retreat, but I hadn't met them, they were on a different table. And they were getting some Prosecco in. And I can't remember if I made a comment about Prosecco or something. And then one of them went, oh, what do you want, Rachel? I'll get this. And it was one of those like, ooh, who are you? And she's like, I'm Justine. And I was like, oh my God, Justine. So I was probably, more fangirly than she was. I gave her this big hug. I don't know if you wanted a hug, Justine. Didn't ask, did I? Anyway, and then I met her lovely friends Elaine and Julie, who were with her. And they were in the notebook class as well. So we had a really good laugh during that class, and there's a couple of other people that did it. But I made another thing. And it was Roz was a really good teacher, and she's fun as well. We had lunch together one day. She sat with us while we were eating our lunch, and she was really good fun in the class. So it was really lovely to meet you in real life, Roz, after we've chatted and this and that in virtual space, and it was so fun to meet Justine. Anyway, so then Justine bought me a drink. Justine and her friends bought me a drink, and so then I ended up sitting with them until it was past midnight. When we went to bed, but it was so lovely. We had a really good time. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Anyway, so I did my notebook class, and I finished first. I don't think anyone else knew that I was like semi-racing. But yeah, I was that kid at school. I'm sorry, I just was. I want the gold star, even if there's no gold star to be had. I want to be the teacher's pet and have a golden star. So thank you, Roz, for showing me how to make this. I did say in like this overly ambitious way that you do, I'm going to make another one of these for my daughter for her birthday, which is still in my head, and the birthday has been and gone. In fact, I'm going to have to hurry up a bit because in half an hour we need to leave for the birthday party. But gosh, look at all my like stuffs. My shelf is never so busy. Never so busy. Yeah, that's still in my head. So maybe the Christmas stocking. Maybe the Christmas stocking. Right, what else do we do? So smalls exchange. So I've shown you what I gave. Oh, I'm not on the floor. What was that? Oh, it's a battery. So I've shown what I gave. Do you want to see what I got? So we were called in tables. The smalls exchange, and our table happened to be called last, so there weren't that many things left, which was fine, because there was like no like, ooh, what should we pick? It was like, kind of grab one. Anyway, so I grabbed a bag. It was a Christmassy bag, which I don't have anymore, and it had this lovely box in it. Isn't that beautiful? And I was like, oh, this looks promising. Anyway, I got this amazing flat fold. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it's so beautifully finished. And do you know why it's so beautifully finished? Do you know whose small I managed to pick up? And I managed to pick up the small made by Ness from Ness's Craft Room. So no wonder it is absolutely beautifully finished. I really lucked out there. I absolutely love it, Ness. And I can't wait to display it this Christmas. I absolutely cannot wait. Let's pop that. See, I never look at all the stuff. Obviously not, it's all finished by me. And Ness also put in some really lovely little pins as well. Nothing wants to focus. There you go. And you know, I actually have is it Country Cottage or Little House Needleworks sheep virtue charts, and these pins would go really nicely with those, so maybe I'll stitch those one of these days. So that was it. Thank you, Ness. I absolutely love it. It's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Thank you so much. And is the rest of what I've got haul? No. There was also a freebie table. So it's semi-haul, but I didn't pay for it. And how the freebie table worked was you could take as many things as you donated to it. So I donated one thing to the freebie table, so I could take one thing off. And I picked this by Heartstring Sampley, Ding Dong Merrily on High. And actually I found out after I picked it up that Sarah from my table had put it on the freebie table. So yeah, cool. Oh, yesterday's tea mug's still there. Oh, the squalor in which I live. Right, do you want to see my haul? I've got so much haul. I went a bit mad at retreat. Like, oh, I've got to buy all their things. So what did I buy? So I've already shown you one floss drop from Charlie Feathers that she'd given one to everyone in the retreat, and they were all unique. I don't think they were two alike, but she was also selling. And can I just say, it was lovely to meet you as well, Charlie. And Charlie is just as lovely in real life as she seems on her films. Everyone was like they seem on their Flosstube, to be honest. So it was lovely to meet you. So I got some more of her hand painted floss drops, and again these are all individually hand painted. Oh, why will nothing focus this morning? The light's better but the focusing isn't. Anyway, they're daffodils, and then she's got like a little house. Wants to focus on my hand, doesn't it? It loves my hand. There you go. There we go. So they're all individually painted, so I got a set of those. And I will link Charlie's shop below. And then I got a set of the smaller ones that she jelly paints. And they're just such fantastic colours. Just look at those. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Charlie. And it was lovely to meet you. Oh, this isn't haul either. Noreen on my table won the big raffle. So there was this raffle and it was massive. I cannot even describe to you how much stuff was in this. Like Noreen was like staggering under the weight of all this stuff she won. Anyway, she looked at it and she went, I can't stitch all this. And so she really kindly picked out some charts that she said, I'm not going to stitch these. And she shared them with, so everyone on our table could take some of Noreen's massive Good Fortune home with them, and I picked this one by Yasmin, Made with Love, which was part of her raffle prize. So thank you, Noreen, and when I stitch that, I will think of you. Right, back to haul. What did I buy? What did I buy? There were lots of vendors, and I didn't buy any fabric or threads. Actually, I was very good in that sense, but I did buy all the charts. I bought all the charts. I'm just checking I've got everything out of this bag. I have, but I have found a bonus whisper. How good is that? I think actually I meant to put that in my smalls exchange bag and just failed, and now it's still in the retreat bag. So sorry, Annette, if you really like whispers, your whisper is still here. Anyway, I bought a bag from Ness's Craft Room. Lovely, love this bag, so well made, really lovely. Got this really great like tassel zip. I love that. I can put something in there now. I worked out the other day I've only got about 6 projects that don't have a project bag, so I'm thinking maybe I should like pull my finger out and get, you know, project bags. And I think I've now got 3 unfilled project bags, so this is a possibility. It's a real possibility. Right, then I got 3 charts from Cosford Rise who were selling, and it would have been 4. So she had this amazing, so I am not a queuer. So like the minute the shops open, they all have massive queues, and I'm just like, I'm not queuing for stuff. I'm not queuing for stuff. I'm too lazy. I can't be bothered. So I'd go after the queues died down, which does mean that you miss some of the like really good stuff, or the stuff that's in high demand. But I'm not a queuer, so I was just stitching while everyone else was queuing. So she had another chart that was like a stitching Biscornu. See, I'm all about the Biscornus now because I can make them. And it had like little scissors and little, but she'd sold out of all those charts. She's like, oh no, they all went really quickly, but I'll have to go online and get them. So the 3 I did get, I got Itty Bitty Polka Dot Kitty Sampler, which I love. I got Easy Peckings, which has 3 hens. I think you all know I have hens, I keep hens. And I do have a brown one, a white one and a black one. I have 2 brown ones at the moment actually. 2 brown ones, a white one and a black one. And then Happy Christmas to All, which I really liked. Really liked that. I quite want to start that Christmas one. And then I got 2 charts from Crow's Feet Stitching, and I have to say, these by Ruthie, I have to say that neither of the pictures do them justice. She had both the models there and they're really beautiful, but this one is Elizabeth Clipperton 1824, which I really liked. Can you hear someone running past this room? And this one, I would never have picked this up from the picture, but Craft and Kirsty I think got this one, and the model was there, and between the model and Kirsty they I was sold on it. So this is Crow's Feet Stitching Fanny Walton, or a sampler for Easter. Sorry about the glare, but honestly it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And then I got a couple of charts from Yasmin Made with Love, so who is also lovely. She's very funny. I was like, I don't know how you find time to do it all. She's like, I just neglect my family. I was like, I know she doesn't, but yeah, she did make me laugh. Love makes everything easy, and also Animals on Parade. I love these. These are so cute. So autumnal. Want to stitch those as well. Want to stitch everything I bought. I think, what's that? No, that is it. That is it. I'm knocking stuff everywhere. This has been a big old mess. If you've struggled through this, thank you so much. If I met you at retreat, it was lovely to meet everyone. Everyone I met was really, really lovely. And I'm sure I've forgotten some of the people that I met. But yeah, so yeah. Well, shout out to Table 9, best table. It was amazing. Yeah, lovely to meet so many people I've seen on screen, and if I have forgotten to mention you and we had a big chat, I'm so sorry. I spoke to so many people, but it was lovely, and I've made some new friends on Instagram, and I have some new Flosstubers to watch and all the things. And now I'm rambling, And as I say, I've got a birthday party to go to fairly shortly, so I'm going to say goodbye. I hope to see you in about 3 weeks, and in the meantime, I hope you enjoy your stitching. See you later, stitchers. Bye.